Hello everyone, I'm Nina Hartley. Welcome to Tuesdays with Nina. Today's question is going to be done in two parts because it was quite long and involved a lot of really good questions and issues. And so to the young woman who wrote in, part two will be next week. So the first part is she wanted to watch my Kissing 101 video and can't get it to go very far, but she doesn't like kissing much because her face gets slobbery and her nostrils are blocked by her husband's face, so she avoids it. She and her husband were both virgin and Christian when they got married and have recently discovered oral sex. Yay, good for you! The Christian books, she says, don't give good practical advice on sexuality. They talk about setting the tone or the mood, but nothing what to do physically with your partner, and which, if you don't have a lot of experience, what do you do? And she is terrified of reading or seeing the wrong thing because it's been drilled into her that pornography is wrong and degrading and will lead to a dissatisfying sex life. So, plus the walls are thin and she has children in the house, and so she really is not looking to view any kind of explicit material. And Sean wants to know, what is erotica? We want to grow closer, respect each other, and grow as people. So, going back to the first one. Well, if the kissing a bit slobbery, first, books. There's a wonderful author, Thomas More. This is a book called The Soul of Sex, Cultivating Life as an Act of Love. But he has two other really great books called Care of the Soul and Soul Mates. And Thomas More is a wonderful writer about religion and intimacy and relationships. It's not a relationship advice book. It's information about how we can think about our erotic lives and think about the incredible connection we have with our chosen mates and how wonderful the journey toward intimacy is. You're quite young and you have a lot to discover and a lot to explore, and it's really, really great. So the first thing is just to, again, relax, cut yourself some slack, and try to spend at least one night or a couple hours a week having what people call date night. But date night is not necessarily about intercourse. Date night is deciding between the two of you that you're going to spend some time just being nice to each other. You're going to set the mood, light some candles. You're not necessarily going to have sex, but you're going to not talk about the kids, not talk about bills, not talk about your parents, not talk about church. You're going to talk about each other and yourselves, and you're going to show generosity and caring and kindness toward yourself and your partner. You just don't ever know what will come of it, because the spirit and the soul is infinitely capable of expansion, growth, intimacy, and love. And when we can set down the fear about sex and sexuality that have been put into us by our culture, our church, our family, our experiences, we can then let come forward the natural growth of our intimacy and our pleasure. So you're young, you have a long way to go. So set aside time each week, maybe only an hour a week since you both have young children, but just to decide, we're just going to hang out and decide to be in a good mood together. Nothing can't wait an hour. Let grandma take care of the kids and you go back to dating again and try the heavy petting thing. And, tell him, I want to kiss you instead of you kissing me. Why not? You can go back and forth on that. And I have a book, Nina Hartley's Guide to Total Sex. There are no pictures in here. No pictures. So you don't have to worry about looking at any images that are going to upset you. Well, the pictures are very small and hard to see. There's not very many of them. And half of my book is how to think about sexuality, and the other half is what to do. Like you say, how to, for lack of a better word, how to twiddle the dials. And I have many pages about kissing. And the most important thing to avoid that slobbery face thing is to make sure that the person with the larger mouth keeps his or her mouth the same size as the other person's mouth, so you don't feel like your whole face is getting wet. Because I agree, and blocking your nostrils, just move your face to one side. Most people don't kiss nose to nose, they kiss this way. So my nose is over here and his nose is over there. And so we don't really get in the way of each other. So that's to do about kissing. Oral sex is pretty darn great, isn't it? Congratulations. Yay! This is great news because it's just a wonderful way to give and to receive and to learn to be in the receptive mode and let that happen, let your partner make you feel good, as well as learning how to make your partner feel good. It's a lovely feedback loop. It's just fantastic. Congratulations. Yay! There's so much visual pornography out there. Much of it is disturbing and totally not where you're coming from. But if you want to watch movies that are absolutely not exploitative or demeaning in any way, you will not do better than to look up Candida Royalle, Royalle. Her company is called Femme Productions, Femme. All of her movies are written, produced, directed by her, a woman who used to be in the business. The storylines are very strong, so it's not just sex. The sex grows out of the characters, grows out of the people and what the story is about, which is really important. And most of the sex is what we call in the business regular boy-girl. So no orgies, very little girl-on-girl sex, very little, if any, anal intercourse. So it's just one boy and one girl, because Candida herself is a heterosexual monogamous person, so that's the kind of sex she likes to portray on camera. She herself is not in the movies, she is just behind the camera. So any of her movies are absolutely, you can rest assured that no exploitation was done in the making of the movie, and that she hired people who wanted to be there and put them with people whom they wanted to be with. So that might ease you up a little bit. But no worries in that. You don't have to watch any pornography to have a really good, happy, vibrant, intimate life with your husband. So relaxing, giving yourself space to grow and learn, and know that it doesn't come all at once, and it's a discovery that you and he make together as you go forward. As long as you are happy and he is happy, nobody else has to know, and nobody else gets an opinion. And this is where I am a firm believer in that we as couples get to have 100% mental privacy. What I share with my husband is personal to us, and nobody else gets to see it, nobody else gets to know about it, and nobody else gets to have an opinion about it, honestly, because this is what suits my husband and me. And it's not going to suit everybody, and it shouldn't. So what works for you and your husband is what works for you and your husband, and you are the only people whose vote matters in this. Patience, generosity, giving yourself a little, cutting yourself some slack, and being generous to your partner, because you're learning together. And you have young children, you know that when they're trying to learn to tie their shoes or use the potty, you have to be coaxing and encouraging and supportive of what they're doing. You cannot shame or scold them. And same goes with our intimate partners. No shaming, no scolding, but patience and support and encouragement. When your partner does something you like, let him know. And hopefully when you do something he likes, he lets you know. Set aside time to be intimate. Whether or not that's going to include sex or orgasms is irrelevant. It's just time to be intimate together and remember when you were dating. And talking about your feelings about sex and talking about your fears and showing, again, kindness and support when your partner opens up about things that are scary. I mean, sex is scary. It's great, but it can be scary. Let's not overlook that. So kindness, compassion toward yourself and your partner will go a long way. And don't forget to experiment. If it feels good, keep doing it a little while longer. And if you want to avoid adding to your family in the near future, also talk to your doctor about the right kind of family planning that for you. This is Nina Hartley. This has been Tuesdays with Nina, and you can send your questions to tuesdayswithnina@gmail.com, and Miss Victoria will forward them to me. Next week, the same young woman asked a bunch of questions about sex toys, and so many good questions about sex toys that I'm going to devote a completely other post to it. See you next week. Bye-bye.